On the 28th of March 2014, Sierra Leonean physician Dr. Patrick Lukule hosted people of the press to press gathering to give insight on his recently released biography titled The Executive in You.
I studied analytical chemistry in Britain and then Michigan State University. I have worked all my life in the pharmaceutical industry, doing drug development and pharmaceutical analysis. The work I do now is helping to improve access to good quality medicines by working with local manufacturers to make medicines that is going to be safe, efficacious, and of good quality that will benefit people when they take it. I try to write the book in a very simple language, right? Common language, layman's language, and also I try to limit the volume of the book to few pages, 114 pages or so that in one or two sittings, say maximum 2 days, you should be able to go through the whole book in 2 days.
The Executive in You is the captivating true story of Patrick Lukule, a man who refuses to let his humble beginnings determine the course of his future. The story inspires, motivates, and serves as a reminder of an innate ability to reach for the best.
So part of my job is to strengthen regulatory authorities such as your NAFDAC and other authorities to be able to exercise better oversight of the market, so to make sure that the medicines out there are not substandard or counterfeit medicines. So we train them to test medicines, we train them on how they can recognize bad quality medicines and take them off the market.
All right, my question now is students in elementary school, because it's very good to catch them young. You start to encourage them when they're very young. Now my question is, what's your plan for distribution so that this book can it can be found everywhere? You could. It's good enough that you have a book, but it's very bad when one cannot locate it to be read. Right. So what plans do you have for that?
That's a good question to answer, and then I'll call upon my very good friend, your humble MD, Muyiwa Kayode, to help answer that question. But that's a very good point. You can write a book and put it under your bed, or this book may not be able to reach the audience that it should reach. So we clearly have to have a strategic plan for distribution so that it reaches particularly the young ones so that they can read. For now, thanks to Muyiwa, we have Glendora Bookstore who will be carrying the book. So the book will be available at Glendora Bookstore and also on Amazon.com, on Barnes & Noble and Tate Publishing website. It's also there.
We had a personal chat with Dr. Patrick Lukule, and he discussed a number of issues with us, including his humble beginning and how he intends to make the highly inspiring and motivating book attractive and available to the African youths.
My parents were almost illiterate. My father went to school and stopped at high school. My mother never went to school. She was an illiterate. My elder brother took us from the village to the provincial town where we started to go to school. And so his generosity allowed me to leave the village setting and attain higher education. But I remained confident that I had a role to play in the world. I'll describe the book as being inspirational, that when you read it, it would help to motivate you to know that you have a lot of innate power and capacity in yourself that you should draw upon. You should not look at your circumstances as defining who you are as a human being. They are just circumstances. You have a lot more in yourself that you can draw upon to move to the next step. Well, I am very cognizant of that fact that Nigerians, and people actually say Africans in general, we don't read. That is why I've tried to make a book that is small volume, a book that you can read in a matter of maximum 2 days. You can also download contents of the book on your iPad, your iPhone, or Kindle, because that is the way people these days will get information. Not those, but I've entertained the idea of perhaps this book could be a movie one day, where somebody could play out the role. And again, because people are more visual these days, if you make a movie out of a book like this, they'll be able to maybe relate to it even better than having to read.
Follow the captivating true story of Dr. Patrick Luckele, a man who refused to let his humble start determine the course of his future and discover the executive in you. Available at takepublishing.com.